everybody, and welcome back to the non-league adventure with me, GWFM, playing as ECFC in the Barclays Premier League. Now, we're going to be changing things up. It's a bit of trial and error before FM17 comes out, hence like why the music was different on the last video. Thanks for the feedback on the porno music, but yeah, so it's sad to say that there was no, deep-throating anal babes or like that to watch when you started hearing that music. But I'm going to be using screenshots. It's a way of trying to combat the length of time of the videos, because they are like 25 minutes long, most of them. The last one wasn't too bad. That's mainly because the highlights had quite a few 0-0 draws, so that probably had some bearing on it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through everything that's happened step by step, starting with the highlights from the last 9 games. We started the first game of this sequence of highlights at the Easter Stadium at home to Manchester United. We found ourselves 1-0 up and we were absolutely flying. We were all over them like a rash, and that coincided with a top performance in the first half. I was very happy. Told them to push on, try and keep going. So I was pleased, and we got a penalty early on, 7 minutes into the second half. And unfortunately, Roy Brewer missed it, and from that point then on, it was just all Manchester United. They just came at us and came at us and came at us, and eventually broke through his defences thanks to Thiago Gomez. On a positive note, though, otherwise, obviously a point against Manchester United, who were top of the league at the time, is a decent result. There was some injury returnees in the shape of Mariscal and Townsend. The next game was away at Goodison Park to Everton. It was a bar draw, 0-0. The only notable thing I can think of really was there was a red card for Kyle Walker-Peters, second yellow card. He got a warning after the game. But it was a tight game, and of course it saw the return of Popol Lukunku against his former team, and he didn't really have that good a game. If you look at some of our performances, even though he got sent off, 7.6 for Walker-Peters, Dozzell got a 7.6 as well. He's been very good actually since joining from Derby County. Next up were Arsenal at the Easter Stadium, and to be honest with you, even though we lost 2-0, we were actually the better team. We were, we were all over them for large spells, and they just got us on counter. If I remember rightly, we had more chances than them. And ter Stegen was like man of the match. I think it was. He was definitely on form. I know that he made quite a few awesome saves from point blank, and you're thinking, how the hell have we not scored, let alone win? But yeah, it was a good performance. It kind of indicates that we're struggling with goal scoring, and it's leading me to start thinking about a tactic change perhaps. We'll have to wait and see from this point. Next up was a welcome victory away at Villa Park against Aston Villa, of course, thanks to goals from Goncalves, Roy Brewer and Mohamed. It was a dominant first half. We were absolutely all over them. I think they had 4 shots or something like that at half time, none on target, and I think we had about I'm going to say 6, but there were like 4 on target, and they still seemed to go in. Yes, we didn't have tons of chances, but we just seemed to be more clinical. Second half came, and I'm just saying oh yeah, I'm ecstatic with you sort of thing. Maybe I should have gone for the concentrate sort of option at the team talk, because Aston Villa came back, tried making a spirited comeback, but unfortunately for them, just 1 goal too many. Yeah, but that was very disappointing from a defensive point of view. Again, look at the ratings. No one really had a majorly bad game. Cohen over Mads as a sub, but 6.9 is like the bare minimum I think you've got to take. Then we followed that up with a disappointing 2-1 defeat, last minute as well, against Southampton. Roy Brewer scoring, of course, against his former team at the Easter Stadium to kick things off, basically, quite literally, because it's in the first minute. They got an equaliser with a free kick, good free kick at that, just before half time. So I was disappointed to score, disappointed to concede so close to half time. And then Dale Fryman, just check out his stats for long shots, technique, and he's pulled that out of his dick hole. I've got no words. It was a very even game from what I remember, and we just should not have been getting beat by Southampton, I feel. And that's also coincided with Andre Dozzell getting injured, who's been you know, a really good, really big player for us in these struggling times, if you like. We then played West Ham at home at the Easter Stadium, and twice we went a goal up, and within a couple of minutes we were back to level pegging twice. Castello and Goncalves getting the goals for us. Then I thought at half time I'll change back to the 4-4-2 that got me into the Premier League just to see what I'd do, and I don't think there was another highlight. It was so effective for scoring goals. I mean, yes, we scored 2 goals, but I just thought, you know what, I think I need to change it. I need to do something, and we need to be scoring goals, because we're just... Yes, I know we scored 3 against Aston Villa, but they were like second bottom or something like that. Southampton, mid-table, we scored after a minute, then we just couldn't seem to score. What it is it's like they get into goal-scoring positions, and then they are just firing it straight at the keeper, and they've got all the goal either side. Just caught my wire. Got all the goal either side, and just hit it straight at the keeper. So yeah, a bit of a shame that we tried to change the tactics and it didn't quite work. But then I tried to change it anyway, completely different, and try and get a more of an attacking setup rather than a control setup. And tried it against Leicester City. Leicester City in mid-table. They've got a Superman in Ryan Kent playing for them, and it was a disappointing 4-2 defeat. You know, they were changing roles more than all. It wasn't the positions as such. But yeah, Castello and Goncalves getting a couple of goals, getting us back on level pegging twice, but they just seemed to be too strong for us, and some very disappointing performances here. Arendt and Breakspear playing in central defence, particularly poor, with Kyle Walker-Peters having his worst game for us, I think, ever. Target also been very poor. So defensive standpoint, it was a bit shite, basically. But you might be thinking, well, where's Martin or Martins? Well, this coincided with an injury to Martins, and Martin getting five yellow cards, so he missed that game through suspension. So down to the bare bones. Maybe I was a bit harsh with the fact that we lost 4-2, but it wasn't good enough. So this game against Watford, I've changed the tactic. Yeah, this is the first time I've tried something like this. It was it's 3 at the back, 3 centre backs. I thought, you know, after that four goal concession, I thought, and that's against Leicester, I'll try it. And it was basically, it's like a 3-3 with wing backs and a defensive midfielder, 1-2-1. So 2 wingers, 1 central midfielder, and an attacker up top. But it was a bit asymmetric. I thought, I'll see how this fares. And against Watford, it was very, very good. And I thought, oh, we might have found something here. Everyone seemed to be doing things. We had Walker-Peters, who's not, we can't really play at wing back, but we do have the Dick, who's injured at this moment in time. I'll come into that shortly. And he could play wing back, and so could Target and Bernard. They can play naturally in those positions. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a go, because I know Stoke have had a lot of success playing with wing backs, and I thought, I wondered if it was something I should try. So I give it a go, and it seemed to work out against Watford, but Watford bottom of the league, and then I didn't really see that at the beginning. I just thought, oh, that's quite good, this, and then I looked at the table and they were bottom of the league, so that's probably why. The last game was against Reading, and disappointing, really. It was shocking. No highlights at all for us. They had 2 highlights, conceded both. Not really much to say, just shocking performance. Clough and Williams getting the goals for them. And yeah, as a result, it leaves us in a lowly 16th position. Only 3 wins this season, 5 draws, 6 losses. So it's been very disappointing this season so far, and as a result, it's ended up leaving some players unhappy. Most notably, Ledesma, one of our key men. 5 of them were unhappy with our performance and were underachieving, which is a fair comment. You know, we finished 10th last season. So yeah, was it 10th? I can't even remember. But we're mid-table, didn't we? And we spent some money. Obviously, we let his best player go, but we spent some money, and we're 16th. So they're every right to kick off, basically. I managed to win round 4 of them, but Ledesma's the one that's still unhappy. So unfortunately, we're going to have to try and win him over in the coming weeks. So yeah, just quickly go through all the injuries that we've had. I'll quickly fly through these. You see him in the background. Roy Brewer has been out for 2 weeks. Vukovic out for 6 weeks, and he got it whilst on international duty, which is always a pain. Brewer again, another 4 week, which is always good. Dozzell 2 week. and Martin's 5 weeks, and it coincided with the suspension of Martin, which is why we had Aaron playing. And then Marisco again, making his way back to the physio room like a schmuck. Another 5-week injury. And Dick got injured on international duty as well, probably a groin strain or something. So the last thing I will say before we get into today's live com against Man City, which I'm not really hoping for much now, is we've got some good news. The transfer budget has been increased to just shy of £12 million, which I find bizarre because we're 7 million in the red. So not entirely sure what to think of that, but I'll spend the money. I'll be honest now, looking at where we are, I did say at the end of the last video, we'll see where we are in the league. If we think we realistically can make Europe, then I might do another season. It's increasingly look like this is going to be the last season for the non-league adventure. So unless we get like a really good run of form and we manage to throw ourselves up the table, because as it stands we're 1 point away from relegation and 9 points away from European spots as it stands. Obviously cup competitions come into play as well, so we'll have to wait and see, but hopefully you can join us now for today's live com. Just before we get into the game, I just want to say that we've got Bradford City away at the at Valley Parade in the FA Cup third round, so that's a title to look forward to. Let's get into the team selection. Right, so change of tactics, of course. I've been trying to find something that's going to help because the system before wasn't working. Since we lost the Kunku, we just haven't been able to replicate the form we hit last season. So I think a change is in order. It's a bit risky. 4-2-4. We are playing against Man City, so probably are going to get destroyed, but I want to try and take the game to Man City. So we're going to line up with Big Z in goal, with Walker Peters at right back and Bernard at left back, with Martins and Martin in central defence. Nothing really too spectacular there. We've got Mohamed as a ball-winning midfielder. He can play the role there perfectly, as you can see with his perfect pie chart. We've got Dazelle to the left of him as a roaming playmaker. We're going to have Townsend on the right wing on support duty, with Goncalves on the left wing. He's effectively our key player in the squad, according to the club page. So he's going to take up an attacking winger position. We've got Castello as a deep line forward and Brewer up top as a poacher. And it's hopefully going to see a change in fortunes in terms of our goal scoring exploits. Today's Barclays Premier League clash is brought to you live from the Easter Stadium. It's ECFC against Manchester City FC. Now, the media have been on his backs lately, but I'm just going to tell them to just, ignore them and get on with it, just enjoy the match, because we are massive underdogs. Don't want to put too much pressure on them, try and play without fear, so that's what I'm going to go for. And after a little bit of faith, some greenery there, I got absolutely no response, probably a poor choice in hindsight. Right, so Man City get the game underway. So first highlight, Sterling has a corner, whips it in. It's a great set from Big Z, in truth. Worth noting, Man City have got some big players. They've got the likes of Paul Pogba, Andre Gomez, Berardi, Domenico, and Sterling, of course, himself. Another chance, perhaps Galliano with a throw, finds Pogba. Back to Galliano. Aguirre plays it infield to Berardi. Chance to play a decent ball in for Nathan, who scores. It's 1-0. Disappointing defending, really. In truth, it's his 8th goal of the season. Yeah, Aguirre here finds Berardi, and then look at this. I mean, what's Martin doing? Number 6, Martin, just stood miles away from Nathan. Tight marking supposedly switched on. So apparently I've accidentally selected I don't think anything needs to be addressed right now, which is going to be pretty damn shit, if I'm being completely honest. I've passionately said, I've got faith in them all. Got a bit of greenery, half at teams motivated, so hopefully they can push on despite that lapse of concentration, I suppose, on the clicking. Right, so the second half starts, and we're going from right to left this time. Dazelle nearly gets the ball away. Right, I've just made a change. I'm going to bring on Ledesma on for Dazelle. Has been largely disappointing in this game, to be fair, as have quite a few players. Right, chance for us perhaps. Goncalves swings a corner towards Martin at the back post. Ta heads away. Mohamed will collect the loose ball. Plays it forward to Townsend. It's a great ball. Brewer! Oh, what a save. I can't remember who was in goal for him. I'm just going to bring on Predrag Vukotic into the deep line forward role to replace Castello, who's had a poor game. Leaving Roy Brewer on just purely for the fact that he's a talisman. And yeah, he's just had the best chance for us. Galliano with the throw. Finds Berardi. Berardi now. Looking for options. He hasn't really got an 8 at the minute, he's just casually jogging to the left. And then he plays it field to Aguirre. He's got a little bit of space there. Let's give it away to Bernard even. Long ball towards Vukotic, who somehow doesn't win the ball. But look at this now, could call this now. Looking for options in the box, he goes himself. He smashes it over the bar. Disappointing. Final change we're going to make is I'm going to put Target on the left wing. He can play there, and he's got some decent stats for it, so I'm thinking hopefully he might be able to break the deadlock. With his crossing more than out. I've just demanded more from the players, hoping it gets some sort of response from it. And obviously we get no response as Kamala takes a throw, it's cleared away, and then that'll be the foul. Yep, full-time whistle, read it like a book. To be fair, you know, we've only lost 1-0. We had a decent chance to make it 1-1. I'm going to say that we are unlucky. We've got to keep morale up, and that's a great response. Right, so looking to the next live com, we're going to go quite far, I think. I'm going to not bother with the FA Cup round, third round tie. I would imagine we'll probably get beat by Bradford City the way we're performing at the minute. But I want to cut out quite a big chunk of the game, so I'm probably going to go for the Derby County game because it's just after the transfer window shuts. So I think that's a good point to return. I think it gets rid of quite a lot of games as well. So a bit of a disappointing live com in the scheme of things. We did lose, but it was only 1-0 against Man City, so it's better than losing 4-2 against Leicester City in my eyes, even though we were at home. But we've got some tricky fixtures coming up. Hopefully we can get through some of them, and who knows, you know, if we have a bit of a decent run of form, maybe we can get up into like mid-table and see what happens. I do want to try and do another another season. However, if we're going to be like focusing more on relegation, I think it could be the last season for the non-league adventure. But yeah, hopefully I've enjoyed this video. If you have one, press that like button. If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, hopefully you'll join us for the Derby County game. It should be a cracker. Until then, I'll see you then. Bye bye.